Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you want to get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
It's on, the biggest Maytag sale of the year at Lowe's. Buy 2 select laundry appliances and get up to a $100 bonus via instant rebate. Shop all things Maytag, including the new stackable Pet Pro laundry system that removes pet hair from clothes. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer valid through 5/31. See store for pricing and offer details. Advertise savings on all major Maytag appliances through Maytag.com and participating retailers. Prices may vary. Additional terms and conditions apply.
There are few things in my life that I miss, but this right here is something I didn't realize I missed until having a conversation earlier this week. You'll find out right after this.
Let's talk about love and marriage the way that God intended. Life experience, here we share it. The Love Fruit Podcast. Tune in from any platform. Podcast will help your spirit transform.
What up, what up, what up? So,
Can I guess?
yeah, won't you guess?
A Pepsi?
No, it wasn't that.
You haven't had a Pepsi in a while, and then you, I guess, went and bought a few of them.
I did. And
Was it as,
well, that's not where I was
refreshing
going.
as you thought it was going to be? Did it bring back memories when you had it? And you went and got another one, so it must have been good. Either it wasn't good and you had to get another one and
No,
try
I
to
got
figure
another one because I realized. So for those of you who knows that I had stopped drinking a Pepsi for a while, a long while at that. I mean months. I mean it was pretty decent. Like I'm gonna be honest with y'all. And so I said, you know what, y'all? I'll treat myself. I'll get one, maybe two. And then a couple days had gone by, almost a whole week had gone by before I bought another one. And so, because I'm like, when I had that one or two, I was like, wow, like, I could finally feel some of the bubbles in my belly come out, right?
You're drinking bubbles.
And then I had that one, and I was like, oh, wow, like, it was helping. I'm like, I got to find another way. But that's not what I was talking about I miss. But now you got me thinking about it. Do I want to go get me another one after we get off this show?
You do not need another Pepsi. Not at all.
Who said I might not need it?
You don't want it either.
I do.
No, you don't.
I do.
Anyway, so what's this one thing that you didn't realize that you missed until earlier this week?
So for those of you who know, you know that I do have another podcast called That Will Never Work Podcast.
Okay.
And on that podcast, I interviewed a kindred spirit. And what it was is that when I interviewed him, I'm able to look at him on our video, and I see that he has some very interesting stuff behind him. And we were talking about that stuff being our hobby, being our toys. Now, that part wasn't a part that I miss. What I do miss is watching Saturday morning cartoons. Like he painted the perfect picture. He said he would sit down on Saturday mornings with his beautiful bowl of Lucky Charms, Frosted Flakes, what was the other one? Frankenberries. Like he was just naming all these cereals, right? And he said he would just get a blanket. He didn't care if it was hot outside. It could be 100 degrees outside. He still would have a blanket on because it was his Linus blanket, as he called it for himself now, older. But he was just reminiscing on what it felt like to sit there and just eat a bowl of cereal and watch Saturday morning cartoons.
Saturday morning cartoons, yes.
And so, even though I didn't always get into Saturday morning cartoons, even though I did watch it, but a lot other time because of most of you who know that I was a church person. So of course, all church activity was on Saturday. Choir rehearsal, usher rehearsal, acolyte rehearsal, cleaning up the church rehearsal, walking up the steps. Yo, guess what? Usher annual day is coming. We all got to go. First of all, why do the kids have to come in earlier than the adults to usher, right? For usher annual day. And guess what? So yes, I did grow up in a larger church. We did have 4 aisles, right? But we did the exact same march. By the time I was 10, I knew that thing, but I did it with my eyes closed. Because we did the exact same thing.
Every year.
Every year, right? And so...
if it's not broke, you don't fix it.
I guess so. But why do we have to be there at 9, 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning, and adults don't have to be there until 2? Why we got to be there so early? Oh, because the adults didn't get up early enough? Because they was partying the night before? Like, that was my excuse. Especially by the time I got to 13, 14, I'm like, I know what them little Negroes were doing. You get what I mean? So I was missing Saturday morning cartoons. But...
when you could.
But because of time, most times I was able to watch Sunday morning cartoons.
Sunday morning cartoons?
Yeah, Sunday. Yes. Yeah, watch a cartoon before you go to church. Heck yeah.
I don't recall that. I recall Saturday morning.
The Snorkels. You don't know nothing about the Snorkels?
I know about the Snorkels. I didn't
Sunday
know
morning.
See, my household was a little bit different, I guess, on Sunday morning.
Yeah, I mean, Sunday morning, heck yeah. See, Saturday morning, because of the busyness, I wasn't always able to sit down and rest and relax.
Okay.
Or even if I didn't have YPD, like I always had something else going on a Saturday. So it was very rare for me to have a true Saturday off, in all honesty. In all honesty, I was probably out the house. No, I was literally out the house like 7 days a week. Every week. Like, there was very rare.
All year long?
All year long. All day. Every day. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I enjoyed Saturday morning cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed Saturday morning television.
Mm-hmm.
During certain times of the year, I lived with my dad,
mm-hmm.
and he had to get up and he had to be at work at 7.
Mm-hmm.
So if he had to get me up, just to make sure that, I knew what I needed to do for that day. So sometimes I would get up around that time. So I remember from 7 o'clock, like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, watching, TV of some sort. And
mm-hmm.
then, like you said, the cartoons would roll out until Soul Train.
Yeah, because you would have, at one particular...
or American Bandstand.
Because what time were they? 12:30? 12:30?
I don't know. I feel like American Bandstand was like 11 and Soul Train maybe
because
12.
I think didn't wrestling come on at 11?
Wrestling, I think, yeah, maybe. Or
like it seemed like
or afterwards. I don't recall.
Because it's almost like when something like that came on, you kind of knew that it was all the I hate to say it like this. All the dummy cartoons was coming on. Mm-hmm. So all the real the newer versions like Animaniac, like you'll start to see the early morning ones start to transition into more current animation or whatever else, like that 9 to or that 8:30 to 10:30 time slot that I remember. And it wasn't like I could just turn on like one channel. Like I had to keep going do 1, like 8:30 do. Nah, you get what I mean? Like it was never like, hey, it's just one channel and just keep it on.
Okay.
If I was home, I do remember that. Mm-hmm. And I do remember being upset because I remember one time where some cartoons, like I really wanted to see both, and it would be on at the same time.
Oh, wow.
So you keep flipping back and forth. And like, so if we would have had remotes, then it would be a whole heck of a lot easier versus do. It's like y'all caught that do.
Well, I'm old enough to remember when remotes first came out, and you couldn't.
Oh yeah, I remember.
You had to kind of just keep pressing the button until you got to that station. So it still was like basically a do, but it was just a click, and so you could click to that station. But yes, I remember like your person that you spoke to on your podcast, of sitting in front of the TV with your morning snacks. A sheet. I didn't do a blanket. I think I did. If I did a blanket, I kind of like made my own
palette.
Yes, and I would put a blanket down, and then I get a sheet, and maybe I did like a tent type thing, and it's just like, okay, it's me and the TV. We're here until it was bathroom break time or restock on snacks time. You get your toys because you had to have your toys in the tent with you. Yeah, so it kind of became. Toy and TV land.
So the only time that I know that because I said something about changing stations, the only time I remember where I didn't change the station would be after school, like Channel 29, and that was it. Because that's where we had Transformers, G.I. Joe, like all the ones all the boy cartoons that I really love today, I want to collect today, is all based off of me getting home. Mm-hmm. Cartoons. It was some of the other ones that, like you said, the Saturday morning ones. Vaguely. Like I said, because there's only but so many that I remember, and even at a certain point where it's like I didn't see not any Saturday morning cartoons. Mm-hmm. Like I said, like that was year round,
right?
And because we would leave so early, like for an example, I said something about YPD, right? So our meeting started at anywhere between 8 and 9 o'clock in the morning. Wow. And we had one meeting a month, mm-hmm. at least. You get what I mean? And don't have us have a conference meeting, or if it was a district meeting when it encompasses all the states, you get what I mean? So now we're away for a whole weekend, so annual conferences, and like it was so, because of my church background and being so active, especially from I have to say at least 7, 8, 9, 10, somewhere in that neighborhood where things started popping off for real. Like, I mean, I was a president of the West area at the age of 12. Mm-hmm. You get what I mean? So I was very, very, and West area consisted of 30 churches or whatever it was, so I'm just giving people an idea of what it might have been.
When I was 12, I was riding my bike.
Yes, I wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
I was running church meetings. So, so again, I was in a different space. So I don't know 100% what it feels like to just sit down. Because all the stuff you talked about getting the sheet and making tents and being with your toys, again, that was during the week. Now, what you and I did discuss, which is as well, which is when you can't go outside, mm-hmm. Or like your parents are at work during the summer and you can't go outside, then that's when the tents were made. That's when the bases were made for my toys or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But as far as a Saturday morning cartoon, I remember a few, but I didn't have the opportunity to be. And, here's the other part too. If I was there on a Saturday morning to really watch a cartoon, mm-hmm. like if I was free, that wasn't the only thing I heard. My mom would now turn on, Parliament or something else. So, because guess what? We're in clean mode.
Yes. So for me, just to spin off of what you just said, so Saturday morning cartoons were always on, whether mm-hmm. I was watching them or not. Mm-hmm. As you said, my mom or my dad, depending on who I was staying with, Saturday morning cartoons came on the TV, mm-hmm. but we couldn't hear them because the radio was on.
Right.
No, it wasn't Parliament. May have been some jazz or something else mm-hmm. Was playing, blasting. And like you said, that was the time to clean up. So I can recall, and to this day, I really don't like this cartoon because my parents put it on and it was time to clean up. Like that it was just music on. I mean, I can look at it, but I'm not a huge fan of it because it just brings back the memories of, okay, it's time to clean. Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote.
Mm-hmm.
So I can just picture that on the screen, and the music is on, and we're cleaning. We're getting papers, like whatever had collected for that week or whatever, getting laundry together, putting laundry away. Yeah, that was on the screen for both parents, I think. Now my mom liked other cartoons. We could listen to, she liked the Flintstones and some other shows that she would like. Now, as I got older, as you said, the Animaniacs, she liked that.
Mm-hmm.
She liked Pinky and the Brain. So there was some that she would look at. My dad liked Simpsons, but that was the evening one.
Mm-hmm.
So they both liked to look at them themselves. But as for Saturday morning cartoons, I would say it would be, I can recall, as he said, being in front of the television most of the morning, and whether it was Channel 6 ABC, and I'm learning about a bill and how the Bill of Rights and all those great things.
Because you had those, right?
Educational type.
Yeah, because I remember, I think I don't know if it was early, like 7:30, where like National Geographic was on or something, like something along those lines. Scholastic, something it was something along those lines. When was Crocodile?
See, I remember that more on Sunday. Like I have all these days. Like so, Sunday to me is with my grandmother, and like you said, that the Crocodile, those type of shows were on early on Sunday. And then I also remember Al Albert Showcase and something else that would come on. And then the news and some other things like that. So I don't remember, I guess because of that, I don't remember Sunday morning cartoons too much. So.
Yeah, I was trying to see when it had come out. I don't remember, but I do know, so while you were talking, I was looking up some of the cartoons, like Garfield and Friends, right? I remember that a little bit.
See, I remember that after school. I remember Garfield.
It said Saturday morning.
Yeah, I understand you're looking it up. I'm just saying, I remember, and again, it may have been regional.
Now, guess what? Now that says premiere date was 1988, right? So a little older.
DuckTales.
DuckTales.
Care Bears was a Saturday one, I think.
I believe so, yes. I mean, it has Bugs Bunny and Tweety, the Smurfs. It says Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but I don't remember Turtles being on Saturday. I remember them being, like you said, in the afternoon, like weekday afternoon. I remember the Ghostbusters being on Saturday. I don't remember He-Man being on a Saturday. I thought that was during the week as well. But again, here's the thing, though. It might be a situation where they were on during the week, and then the reruns were Saturday, like after they became syndicated or whatever else. Because, again, like Transformers, again, that was my weekday, but they stopped in 87 or something like that. So when did they start playing reruns? Right? So same thing with G.I. Joe. So there's all these things, like even like it says right here, Saturday morning cartoons like Fat Albert, right?
Yes.
Like, so was Fat Albert on Saturday? It might have been. It might have been, but I don't, but again, when was Picture Pages? Picture Pages, time to
That's
get your
part of Fat Albert.
I know, but when was that? I can't remember when I used to watch that and sing that crazy song. So, yeah. Animaniacs, like you said, is 93. Alvin and Chipmunks, I mean, that was my I used to like Alvin and Chipmunks, funny enough. That remind me of Chippendale, too. Chippendale Adventures.
Chipmunks, yeah. Not the strippers.
No.
Just to clear things up for those that are listening. I
mean, even Pink Panther, so those are some of the things that I do remember.
That's another. My dad liked Pink Panther, and I that's when I started to like Pink Panther, because he watched the movie,
right,
the black and white, and then I kind of, what is it?
No, I'm looking at one. It says Johnny Quest.
Yes.
1964 premiere. I really didn't think Johnny Quest came out until our kids were born, because I knew nothing about it. That's funny. But Yogi Bear.
Yes.
Like, so
And I think,
what's
there were some, because they were clustered together. So Hanna-Barbera was one of the big,
Hanna-Barbera, yeah. Right. But they had a whole, it was almost like they owned the whole channel.
Right. But as I said, most of the cartoons came out by them. And I think later on we looked at something on YouTube and they were like, it's all the same character. They just change, the hair color, basically.
Yeah, pretty much like.
Betty and Wilma are the same person.
Yeah, I was going to say like the Jetsons,
Mm-hmm.
Jetsons and Flintstones, really, right.
Yeah.
Like all the characters are just duplicated.
Yes.
Like Rosie the robot was Fred.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You get what I mean? Like they were exact. It's not till you think back, you're like, they were shaped similarly.
Yes.
Space Sprockets, he was Barney.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's like you kind of think like, oh snap.
Yeah. They didn't have to do a whole
changed.
lot of work. Or maybe they did. I don't know. Like once they came up with that one, then it's like, okay, we just make a
Even
few
though
changes.
I think I saw something too that said something about them technically being at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
where the Flintstones was on the ground and the Jetsons was in the air,
Okay.
based off of pollution or something like that. It was something along those lines.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the things that I really do miss is the cartoons. But I think with that comes innocence. I think some of that comes curiosity, and the ability to be way more open-minded.
Mm-hmm.
Those are some things I think of when I think about those Saturday mornings.
I think for me, it brings up, I can't even think of the word now, but just repetition is the word, because every Saturday you knew that was going to happen. Those were going to be on. And I remember some Saturdays, because before the cartoons came on, shows that, I don't know why I was gravitating, but Captain Halftown or something like that came on. Not Captain, maybe Chief Halftown.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Noah. Some of those ones that are a little bit more Philadelphia-based came on in the morning before that. There was one show.
But those were more the Mr. Roger-ish.
Right, but I'm just going by my childhood. I remember
Right.
being like, and they came on, and there was another show that came on, I think, around that time early, and this one kid would look out in space, and he was like similar to a National Geographic type thing, but just more with electronics. And I would like break myself to get up early at 6 o'clock in the morning, 6:30 in the morning to watch these shows.
Yeah, but again, think about it, like you wasn't looking at cartoons though.
I know, but I'm saying then the cartoons came on after that. So again, it was just some of that repetition that I was looking for.
Yeah. Why would you get up so early though? You was trying to learn something?
I don't know why I like those shows.
I mean, it's nothing wrong with it,
when
though.
it came to like the Chief Halftime, because it was a talent show type of a thing.
Oh,
so
that's right. You was in your creative.
I was in my
wanna be
creative.
a-
I wanted to sing, dance, and
sing, rap, dance in just one show.
and then for the locals of Captain Noah, I I'm gonna send my picture in. Never did, I don't think, but it was just something there that about it that just was good. And the same thing when it came to Al Albert Showcase, Uncle Al and everybody, singing and dressing up in their little fluffy costumes, So just I liked those little things for some strange reason at that time.
I mean, again, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just interesting how you gravitated towards realism or real-ish shows, being with real people.
I'm not saying I gravitated to either one. I'm just saying I did make a point to try to watch those. I do remember trying to peel my eyes open to stay awake to watch them early in the morning. And then after that, again, the cartoons came on, and I would watch those, and like I said, with Barbies in hand or a coloring book. I think I was also, avid with crayons.
So I would like to know what y'all miss, because that's most definitely what we,
Or what cartoons what were some of your favorite cartoons back then in the day, the 80s and the 90s?
I mean,
Saturday
now
night
those of
cartoons.
you who were before that time, you could tell us what other shows y'all might have been interested in.
Send us a picture, because we won't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, right. Because anything after, I'm gonna be honest with you, for me, as far as especially a Saturday morning cartoon, anything after 93 will be hard for me to remember. Right? And anything before 82, I wouldn't know.
Right.
Because I was in first grade. I don't remember anything before first grade as far as cartoons and stuff.
Wise, okay.
Yeah, I don't. I remember watching Dukes of Hazzard. I remember watching or
Sesame Street.
Right, like I remember like stuff like that. I don't remember. I remember my mom looking at Mel, kiss my grits. Well, whatever the TV
Alice.
show, Alice, right? You know, so I remember those type of shows, but I don't remember cartoons per se. That doesn't mean I didn't watch them, you know. But again, that would have been if let's say if it was Bugs Bunny, right? Well, the problem is that the same Figaro cartoon from Bugs Bunny I would have seen for the last 50 years of my life because it's the same cartoon, right?
I mean, and they've tried to redo it, but it's not the same.
Right.
That's another one my mother would like. She liked Bugs Bunny.
You know, so again, so those are repeats. So to tell you that, hey, I remember, let's say it was Bugs Bunny, Woody Woodpecker,
Oh, I like Woody Woodpecker.
Mighty Mouse.
I like Mighty Mouse
all
too.
them other cartoons that we would have watched.
Yes.
They would have
Popeye.
Popeye. Oh man, what was the Diaper Man and I can't remember.
Captain Underpants.
No, it wasn't Captain Underpants. Oh, what were their names?
I
Ha he hachoo. The Penguin.
That's
Like you know, so all
the
these.
Penguin was part of I think Woody Woodpecker. Like
he was, but but I'm just saying. But I'm giving y'all all the other little cartoon or mini cartoons within the cartoon, right? But I'm just saying. I'm saying all that to say that those cartoons ran for so long.
And they're not running anymore because those cartoons were so blunt. I mean,
everybody
in
would
a
be
hidden way. Some of them were, had hidden messages, but just recently, like
I mean, if looking at it from our 50-year-old minds right now, we're like, oh snap!
Right. But a lot of them can't play now because of the way that society is and everyone's
the
sensitivity of it. The words they used, especially prior to the 80s.
The word play. The word play, the visuals. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It would have been. Yeah.
Yeah. Just think of some theme songs to some of the cartoons.
No. You want to sing them?
No.
No. No.
Yes. So Saturday morning cartoons were always fun. I think we've played some of those. Can you name the cartoon by just looking at the image?
Yeah, on YouTube or whatever, and try even play around with our kids with that or whatever else. And funny enough, they knew some, they knew a few, but I think y'all really need to share in on this and let us know what cartoons were y'all watching, because that's one thing I miss. And sometimes it just especially as I was talking to this gentleman about it, I'm like, wow, like I didn't realize how fast paced my life has been for such a long time that I didn't even get a chance to really enjoy
your childhood,
something as innocent as that.
Right.
Not the way I probably could have.
Yeah.
Because
it's not too late. I mean,
oh no, it's too late because I'm not going to do that now.
There's no one channel that plays it. I think there's one that I can think of that I have looked at and I did find, because it's not the cartoon channel that you would think it would be.
Yeah,
it's
but
one of these
when
other
am I
channels.
going to look at? Am I really going to wake up on a Saturday morning and watch cartoons? Like you and I just talked about it, right? Where we are right now in our lives is that every Saturday morning we want to be on a different beach, right? Every Saturday morning we want to see a different horizon. Now the question is, do we want to watch Tom and Jerry as we watch that horizon? That would be funny. I guess we could because everybody stream, right? So we get the best of all worlds at once, right? But more than likely, because of the space that I'm in right now, I would probably be more concerned about watching the sunrise and just basking in that moment than really wanting to watch cartoon and eat some cereal. I can't do the cereal anyway.
Okay. Well, anyway, we look forward to hearing your responses to that wonderful question of, what did you all watch on Saturday mornings?
What do y'all miss? Which cartoon do y'all miss?
Yes.
That now the question is, do you miss it enough to stream it and still enjoy it as well?
I think that's where the thing, like, I would watch it and I'm like, what was so great about this? So it doesn't
Especially
hold the same.
you little Miss Critique. Because your critique, you'd be like, this looks so corny and fake. Well, Kafa, this was pre-computer, Kaf, this was
Not pre-computer, but
like, what are you talking about? We understand that the spaceship is being hung up by strings. Like, we can see the strings, Kaf. Like,
yeah, but we didn't when we were younger. And it was an ooh and an ah. But yeah, so we look forward to hearing from you all.
Most
Please
definitely.
share. And I may do a set. Now, I have recently, within the last year or two, I've sat, not with a blanket and a sheet, but I've sat and watched Saturday morning cartoons at the dining room table with a bowl of cereal. And it kind of throws it off because they don't have, if they're going to I wish if they showed nostalgic cartoons that they would also put in the nostalgic commercials, because I'm sitting there looking at it and then like some commercial will come on for, I don't know.
So it doesn't give you the whole flashback.
Yeah, it just like.
They can't do that, though. Because probably half of those products don't even exist today. Like RC Tab. Like, I don't know if that soda is still sold.
I think it might be.
Tang aren't,
I've seen Tang.
So just all those things.
It's around.
So, but let us know what y'all thoughts are. We'll talk to y'all later.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the No Fruit Podcast, where we bring you fruitful conversations, ripened wisdom, and love that's deeply rooted. We hope today's discussion left you feeling uplifted, encouraged, and ready to take on life's journey with purpose. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with someone who could use a little inspiration in their day. You can catch up on past episodes, send us your thoughts, or learn more about us on social media. Until next time, stay rooted in love, and remember, every seed you plant today shapes the fruit of tomorrow. Take care, and we'll see you next time.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.